in a entertaining game, shall we say. Conte's first game in charge, 3-2 win. We was having plenty of jokes on the old WhatsApp. We started off banging away, 3 goals away, 3 goals, and then it was 3-2 by half time. And I put in a group Antonio Keegan, not Antonio Conte, Antonio Keegan. But that was only jokes. We got the victory. That's all that matters. He's had his first game in charge. He's had enough to see. So in the house, joined by Mike Hotspur Hustler, Sid Spurs, and Darius 3K, or Darius 352K, as he now wants to be called.
The prophecy.
Good. That's very good. I just saw that one there. I thought, right, I'll have some of that. Darius 352K. Good on you. Right, gentlemen. So we have a new manager, and we can't say that game wasn't entertaining. One of the best things the best thing I saw today was the use of the substitution and the tactical change when we went down to 10 men. I thought, hold on a minute, you need to take Ben Davies off here. Oh, right, I see what he's doing now. He's gone to a 5-3-1, which was brilliant, because what that did is it forced the players to have to go wide. It blocked up that midfield because they were running through us in midfield, forced them to go wide. They made a mistake, got down to 10 men, eventually get to 10v9. And I thought we saw that game out pretty well, had a few more chances. But there's a lot of work to do, as we all know. But before we get into all of the rest of the show, please like, subscribe, share, comment, Paxton Road TV, 1,000 subs plus, and thank you for getting us there. We still want more and more of you to sub. So if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share, comment, all the rest of it. Let's go. Hotspur Hustler, what's your thoughts?
The first half in particular, in terms of our in terms of how we started, like the possession, how quickly we transitioned from defence to midfielder to attack, I thought we looked really good, to be fair. I know you could argue maybe that's the players sort of entering a honeymoon period, trying to impress the new manager, or it could be the fact that Conte has managed to do something in that sort of short period of time that he's had between when he got appointed to what I suppose yesterday or maybe this morning, that he's had on the training field. But the shape obviously was new to the players, but I thought they played well. I mean, I know you could argue Romero getting sent off, a silly second sort of yellow card there. I thought that you could argue both our goals were down to mistakes. I don't know how Dyer didn't win that head. I mean, it just baffles me how he missed that.
He didn't even jump, Mike. He didn't even jump. That's what was annoying. He didn't even jump.
It just baffles me. Literally baffles me how he's not won that head. The second goal, that's just us overplaying it and in our sort of defensive third. So in that sense, Emerson or Mora, they should have just hoofed it, get rid. But they just try to overplay it at the back, and then they get caught, and the second goal hits. But other than that, I don't think Vitesse weren't particularly any good. They're aggressive. They deserved the 2 players that got sent off. They deserved that. They were pretty physical throughout the game, and they were lucky to not get away with more yellow cards. But I think, if anything, this game will further strengthen Conte's his need to hit the January transfer market. He needs another centre back. Dyer's just, I think he's been exposed, hasn't he? And obviously another striker, because you can't rely on Kane to keep playing sort of 90 minutes every week, every other week, whatever. So I think it further just strengthens and highlights the issues that Conte needs to address. And yeah, other than that though, I'm not, the 2 goals aside, I thought we looked much better than what we have done under Nuno, and that's being brutally honest.
Okay. There were some things in there for me. I think this comment here from Pamela Stims is there's some sort of truth in there. It was difficult to play a 2 in the midfield when you're playing against the 3. I actually thought Vitesse were actually decent. You know, I thought they attacked well. They left gaps, and you know, we did attack down them because Emerson and Region had field days going forward. Defensively, they were a little bit challenged, but we shouldn't have as many problems defensively if we've got 3. The goals came, as you said, Mike, from mistakes. Dyer not being able to out-jump a player. I'm not sure how he does. He seems to do that quite regularly. I'm not entirely convinced that Dyer and Ben Davies as a left-sided centre-back is going to work long-term, because I think they both got mistakes in them. So that can't work for me long-term. Against better opposition, we'll get absolutely turned over. If you're going to play Skip and Højbjerg as a double pivot, or not even a double pivot, as a 2, then you are maybe possibly going to have to revert to a 3-5-2. The reason I say that is because, you know, they haven't, not to say they haven't got the legs, but there's not a real pacey merchant in there. So to recover, you need a bit of more pace if you're going to only play 2. And Skip's not the quickest in the world. He gets around the pitch decently. Højbjerg does as well. But again, I think you need a little bit more pace in there. But go on.
I was just going to say, I don't think he could change too much in terms of the side. He can't make too many changes in his first game. But Davies has only played there because he's the only real left-footed defensive type defender. So it gives that balance to that back 3, doesn't it? Although, like you say, he's not a long-term solution. And I'm sure Conte, and he knows that. It's just make do, isn't it?
He's made a balance to the team, and I think that's right in what you said. When I saw Davies on there, thinking it has to be a back 3, which it was. Ben Davies playing on that left-hand side of the 3 made sense. But as I said, going forward, you can't have Romero, Dyer, and Davies there. That's just not going to be a long-term partnership. I actually thought Sanchez, to be fair, looked pretty okay.
I was just about to say that. He was all right.
Looked like he was putting some effort in. I like the fact that he did his old Terry Butcher impression and had the headband on and stayed on the pitch, which was really good to see. For those viewers that don't know about Terry Butcher, go and have a look back on YouTube. You'll find it. But yeah, as I said, there's lots to take away from it. I did like the attacking intent. I'll come to you, Sid. Yeah, what's your thoughts on the whole Conte? We caught up in the whole Conte thing to start with. First 30 minutes was really good. What's your thoughts?
I said yesterday, and I said it on the group today, we've got a new manager in, but we still got the same players from previous. So, yes, good. We've got a new manager, but a new manager can't do much with the sort of crap that we've got. Same old mistakes, like you said. Same issues as always. So it'll take him time. You made a statement at the beginning about you were glad that Conte made subs and everything. I was glad apart from one substitution. Yeah. And you probably all know who that substitution
Guess who that was.
Yeah, exactly. But no, you know what? In terms of what sort of annoyed me as well was I think Kane was pushing a bit too deep as well at times. Conte needs to decide and just tell him to stay up top. Defensively, I think we've done quite well. I think the wing backs did quite well. I mean, the audacity of Reguilon with 2 minutes to go to get the ball and then start doing keepy uppies, right, was quality. That was just, you know what, that's taking the biscuit.
I like that. I like that. That's the sort of thing I'd do on the pitch if we're winning.
You know that.
Do you know what I mean? I'd love doing that.
Only thing that missing was at the end, he should have done a 360. We put his foot around the ball and then whizzed it and then passed it. But Højbjerg and Skip, for me, I'm not convinced that that's going forward. That's going to work. I think, you know, Winks just proved it when he done that pirouette in the box in the 94th minute. I don't know what the hell he was doing with that one. But overall, I think what you guys said, first 30 minutes, I think, or even first 20 minutes, we came out of the blocks. We done well, passing everything. We took him, well, I wouldn't say tore him to shreds, but we had him on the racks and everything. Got 3 goals. Again, second half, we took the pedal. But why do we keep taking the foot off the pedal? We just need to kill these games off. And if one goes in, then you know this is Tottenham. And we're going to sort of start rocking at the back and then nothing going. I mean, I asked you, Sam, didn't I? Did we actually have a shot in the second half? And you said, yeah, we had one, which GLC should have scored. And I said, that's not a shot. It should have been a goal. I'm not classing that as a shot.
That's a bit hard. I think we had a couple more. I think there was the Romero's one where Romero, he was off the pitch. Emerson tried to chip the keeper got taken off. As I said, they showed flashes of what they can do. There was a few patterns I saw in the game where they were doing some incisive passes in between lines, which was really good to see. I think Kane dropping deep was the reason, because there was a big gap between the forward line and them two in the midfielder. If you look at what Højbjerg and Skip were doing, they were quite a little bit away from the forward three, which meant Moura kept coming into the space. And he does what Moura does. That's what he does. He picks the ball up anywhere and runs at players. So again, are we going to see slightly different tactics from Conte going forward? He's not going to get anything right in an afternoon's training session. Darius, 3-5-2-K. Is that the system that you want to see, or is it 3-4-3, or is it back to the 4-3-3? What's your thoughts? You're on mute. Mate. You're on mute.
Sorry, I think we were kind of seeing a 3-5-2 anyway. If I'm being honest with you, because like you just mentioned, Lucas was pretty much in that whole sort of trying to pick the ball up anyway. So I do think we were seeing a 3-5-2. To be honest, it's personnel. I honestly think that if you've got a Ndombele in that hole with Skip and Højbjerg, it'll be perfectly fine, because the sort of the way we're playing is tailor made for Ndombele. And what I notice about Conte and sort of the way he attacks is, when the ball goes to the striker or sort of a forward player, that striker takes one touch if they can, gets it to a player to sort of bring out that centre back, and then the players will run in behind. And that's how we sort of scored the goal for Lucas. How Lucas got the goal, the ball in for Son, because at the end of the day, ball came in behind, 1-on-1, and you get the goal. So I just think that it's based on personnel. That wasn't our best squad out there. It was close to it, but it wasn't our best team. I think Davis for Sanchez would be perfectly fine. I even think Tanganga for Davis would be fine. I even think Rodon for Davis would be fine. So I just think there's 3 centre-backs better. In terms of midfield, I do think, like I said, if Ndombele plays in a 10 with Kane and Son up front, you'll see a lot better sort of performances from well, not even performances, because I don't think they played bad the front three. You'll just probably see more of an attacking input or more attacking impetus from the players, because I think that some of the passes were a little bit too tough, a little bit played hard by Lucas a couple of times where he was almost. Go on, sorry, Mike.
Yeah, no, go on, mate. All I was going to say, those passes, like the passes that you're on about, we wouldn't have seen that under Nuno.
That's what I'm saying, and that to me, and that's exactly what I was going to say. It's sort of the reason why I sort of got carried away and got so excited is because from minute one, Son had an excellent chance to score, and it suggested to me that it doesn't actually take a lot to sort of coach that in a team. And what Nuno was doing, I don't know. It kind of suggests to me that those players didn't want to play for him and were almost down in tools, because I don't think that takes a lot to coach short of what they would. It was simply just holding the ball less in the final third and basically making runs in behind. And like Sam, you mentioned in the group chat, and I noticed this as well, was a specific cross when Reguilon got the ball out wide. At one point, there was no players in the box. 3 seconds later, there was about 5 or 6 players running for their life to that box. And just little things like that suggest to me that with more time, with better players, with a window or two, with obviously time to bed in your ideas, this team could be really, really dangerous. And it is tailor-made for a three at the back. So I think, like I said, we've heard these news about Kessie coming in. If Kessie comes in as a centre mid, that is an automatic upgrade. That will automatically make us a very, very significantly stronger team. So, and again, I'm hearing rumours about a centre back coming in January, and Dusan Vlahovic. So these are all positions that we've spoke about that need improving. If we can actually manage to bring these players in, and in my opinion, and this may be wishful thinking, but I do think that Conte's name alone will actually secure maybe 2 out of those 3 signings, in my opinion. Just because if Perisic can convince Conte to join Tottenham, because they said a stat on BT, it was, I think, the first time since 2007 that Conte's taken a job midway through a season. So he's obviously been convinced by what Paratici said to him. If we can get in my opinion, Vlahovic, Kessie for the summer and a centre-back in the winter, there's no reason to suggest to me that Conte can't get us properly competing for major trophies next season. So I may be getting carried away. I may be getting overexcited, but I really do believe that there's a lot of positives to take from just watching those 30 minutes. And I know we conceded 2 goals, but again, a header which Dyer defended poorly and a finish that was right in the bottom corner. Again, Dyer probably could have done better. I can look past that. I really can look past that. It was, like you said, 4 shots on target in 26 minutes. I think it took us about 26 games to get 4 shots on target with Nuno. So I can't
believe it. I saw all these shots in the first few minutes. I was like, hold on a minute, we've not seen that. What's going on? We're shooting at the goal. Crazy. It was madness. But I think it just shows that the players maybe just had that new manager impetus. Obviously, they're going to start playing. There is things obviously he's got to work on. We know that. But Mike, who do you think today? Who kind of looked like they have improved already, even in the couple of days he's been here? Because I thought Emerson Royal really looked really good.
Emerson and Reggie straight.
Emerson as well. both the full wing backs. Sorry, go on. Your thoughts.
Both the wing backs. I'd say a massive improvement. Even Sonny, to be fair, even though I'm not questioning his ability,
lightning. He was lightning, wasn't
he? He looked bang on it, didn't he? I think. Yeah, I would say that. I thought that definitely the flanks, both flanks. Emerson was probably the biggest, the biggest sort of improvement. Not taking anything away from Reguilon, I thought he had a good game, but I think Emerson was. If I had to choose one out of the two, it'd be him. But even Mora, to be fair to him, he looked back like he looked like he'd taken something before the game, and he was just like
he had the Weetabix, as Sid said. He had the Weetabix. Remember,
he had two
Weetabix.
Two Weetabix. Two.
He had two. He must have done because he was just zipping about. Like they just, I don't know. You don't know how much coaching's gone on already, do you? And you can't really. I mean, if you said 3.5 days, realistically, you're not going to be able to get your ideas across there. But and it could be just the fact that new manager, they all trying that little bit extra hard. But
they have to. He's going to.
They looked more organised. They looked better. They looked already. You could see it straight away. Like the way in the first 25-30 minutes, the way even when we conceded the goal, the passing, the movement, it just looked quicker. Everything just looked that sharper, crisp.
You know what I also noticed? Sorry to interrupt you, Mike, about the 3-5-2 as well. It felt like obviously in the first half, because like you said, Sam, I actually do think Vitesse weren't that bad, and they actually pressed. They were very risky. They took massive risks. I mean, they pressed us high. They wanted to win the ball high. They left space open. They did take risks to try and win the game. So I will credit them for that. But that 3-5-2 makes it feel like you've got an extra player, because when we were 2-0 up, it seemed like we were dominating possession. We had the ball all the time. There always seemed like there's a player on in that 3-5-2. So I just think it creates so much more sort of solidity. And I think the word, I don't know what the word is, but it just feels fluid. I think you're right in what you're saying. It just feels fluid. It feels like it suits the players more. And God knows why Nuno didn't do it, but I'm not going to complain now because he ain't here no more. So
I'm just going to go to the stats, and I'm going to come to, because the stats obviously prove that, you know, what we were talking about in terms of Vitesse, because they weren't mugs. They were organised. 52 to 48% possession. They had 16 shots to our 10, 5 to 6 on target, 2 corners to us, 9 corners to them. And they were aggressive, 15 fouls to our 7. So again, if you go by just those stats, you can see that they were in the game. Again,
great fan base as well. Great fan base as well. I thought they were crazy, those fans.
I would say a lot of that would probably be down to the fact that we were down to 10 men, and they did have quite a bit of the possession when we were down to 10 men. Obviously, when it equaled up, it kind of lessens the impact on us. And then 9 men, it was always going to be a bit of game management time. But still, saying that, you know, we won the game. I'll come to you then, Sid. What would you say is the thing that most needs improvement? Obviously, apart from the individual players, is there anything within the actual style of play that you want to see Conte try to employ going forward? What would you think he needs to do?
I think Conte will do what he done at Chelsea, won't he? He'll soften the centre halves or at the back. He'll toughen that up. He'll get that sorted once and for all, because he won't be happy with what he saw today. He'll want them to be solid at the back, not to concede goals, and especially not to concede these stupid goals we tend to concede every given game. Not one team, apart from Man United the other day, I'd say, has actually earned to score them goals out their own style of play. Half them goals we give to them with stupid defending or back passing or whatever. Going to this game tonight, I think corners, we need to either stop giving corners away or start defending them better, because we can't defend corners. We cannot defend set pieces and corners. So he needs to work on that. And I know what you're saying about going down to 9 men, 10 men or whatever, but at home, we should not be having the opponents having 16 shots on our goal, because Hugo made a couple of decent saves as well.
I was going to say, he did make some good saves.
Yeah. So at home, we should not, there's no way a team should be having more shots on goal than we had.
Darius, I'm going to come to you. Sorry, Mark, let me just ask Darius for his thoughts in terms of looking at the stats. I know that you want to see this 3-5-2, but would there be any thoughts that maybe Antonio may think about something else, or do you think that's going to be it now? He's going to stick with this formation in terms of a formation. I know that the tactic will depend on the team he plays, But do you think it's going to be this 3/5 at the back going forward? Or do you potentially think he might change something up? Because I thought tonight he may have gone with a 4-2-3-1 just because that's what the players have been playing recently. But it just shows a manager's going to come. This is what I want to do, and I'm going to try it now. And a home game, that's probably a good idea to try that. But do you think there is any potential for him doing anything other than the 3 at the back?
Nah, that's called philosophy at the end of the day. He's got a philosophy and he'll stick to it, and it works. So again, 3-5-2. I was saying this since Nuno is it just fits our team better. It's much better to play that formation, and you can see in the personnel and sort of the way that Romero played today. And I know he got sent off, but I'm not really gonna rag him for that, because I think that he did still play really well. Romero was everywhere, but he could do what he wanted. If he wanted to intercept the ball, he would chase that player down all the way to the right side, all the way to the middle. He didn't care where he went because he had the reassurance of 2 centre-backs to sort of back him up. And if you get rid of those 2 centre-backs that are on my screen now, and you bring in 2 world-class centre-backs to protect Romero, you won't concede 2 goals like that. I'm telling you now. And for even one. And for me, it's just, like I said, I'm not gonna give Conte any discredit, because what I wanted to see was that team that to me, or not even to me, that team that showed everyone they can't even get a shot on target in halves of games, can't even get a shot on target in entire games. I just wanted to see us actually play some sort of attacking football, have some sort of idea. He showed that in the first 30 minutes. The players let him down at the end of the day. So I think the formation was fine. One
little critique about the formation. Maybe today, and maybe you've seen this. What I would have, and this is hindsight again, because I've seen the game, and maybe I wouldn't have made a decision before the game, but I would have potentially maybe thought about putting Romero centrally. The reason being, if you play a 4-3-4-3 like how it's shown there, if Højbjerg doesn't get back to help out Emerson, because Emerson was way up at the top of the pitch, it means that Romero's always got to be making tackles, or at least making some form of interception in the areas in and around this part here. So where Emerson's always down here, he has to come across into this area, which is where he got his sending off. That's why he got sent off. Now, if you put him in the centre, he can then make runs into this midfield area, but it means that he doesn't have to make them tackles in this area. Leave someone like Dyer or Tanganga or somebody else to do that. Let him play central, and then I think he's going to have a much more... He can come forward.
Which is what he did for Atalanta. That's what he did for Atalanta, and he almost played as a DM for Atalanta, and it works. But I think the reason, and I agree with you, by the way, Sam, I do think that he should be playing through the middle. The reason why I think he was on the right was, if you notice, the way that they were getting sort of space was on that right and left side where the wing backs were flying forward, and having somebody like Romero, who's almost an elite tackler, because his interceptions, he reads his game better than any centre back in the world, in my opinion. If you've got somebody like that on the right to cover that space, I'd rather that than Dyer. That's the only reason why I can think he did that. But I do agree with you on the whole. If you've got somebody like Tanganga on the right side, you would have. I was
just going to ask Mike that same question. Would you have maybe made that, again, looking back, it's easy to say that now, but Tanganga, who's pretty much a hybrid fullback stroke centre back, I think that's an ideal position right here for him. That's where I'd play Tanganga. He's got the recovery, he's got the pace, he's got to tackle him, he's got the aggression. I just think Romero, we don't want him to keep making them tackles, because you're gonna get him making.
The only thing with Tanganga, I worry with Tanganga and Romero in the back three. They're both very similar in terms of their style of play, and they're both aggressive. And we've seen Tanganga. I think every game he's played, or every game he played at the beginning, he was getting booked. Me personally, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but if we're going to put Romero into the centre, which does make sense, completely makes sense, because it would reduce that risk of him having to come across and cover for Emerson. But I'd probably put Sanchez there.
He was good. He wasn't good, but he was decent.
Actually, I was going to say,
Sanchez is quick.
Yeah. He's quick. If you've got Romero in the middle there, that cuts out Dyer having to be in the middle there, because I personally, I'd get rid of Dyer. The back three should be Sanchez. In my eyes, for Everton game, I'd be tempted to put Sanchez where Romero is. Romero, if he's available to play on at the weekend, where Dyer is, and I'd put Rodon out on that instead of Davis. That'd be my back three, and then I'd probably keep the rest as it is.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
I'm going to ask Sid then. Who of of the subs who were on the subs who were named there. So we had the subs benches: Galini, Tanganga, Sanchez, Austin, Winks, Doherty, Rodon, Lo Celso, Dele, Ndombele, Bergwijn, Scarlett. Of those players, and I know there was a few that came on because he did make a number of substitutions. Is there anybody that could potentially make the starting 11 versus Everton at the weekend? I think there's quite a few that could be made, but I want to hear what your thoughts.
There's one I would definitely eliminate out of the squad completely, and that's not Delhi. But there's another one I would completely eliminate, and you all know who that would be after tonight's performance again. But I would look at Sanchez, I think, as what Mike was saying. If you're going to put Romero into the middle, then I think Sanchez would be a good option to have where Romero played today. And I would also try and get Ndombele in somewhere. Maybe, don't know where, but out of the subs bench, I think the two that could come in would be Sanchez and Ndombele. And I'd probably take out Skipper Højbjerg for Ndombele.
So there's a few things I could. Sorry, I'm going to just quickly, and I'll let you have on this mic. What I could think about possibly looking at is maybe dropping Kane into that space here. If he's going to play with these three, maybe drop Kane in and maybe have Moura and Son a bit closer together, because both of those players are runners. Moura's going to run. He's going to commit players in this area of the pitch. I really want him to. I don't want him to commit too many. Well, I say I don't want. He can commit players here, but that's not going to end up with a goal scoring opportunity. He commits players here, more of a goal scoring opportunity. As we've seen, Kane's dropping deep, then helps out these midfield too. But then he can find a pass. He's good at finding them passes, whether or not he can find them little threaded balls along the ground. But we know that he's got vision. Maybe that's something that he might try just to protect these two, because, like I said, a better team than Vitesse could have definitely overrun us even more in midfield. And that could be somewhere where Conte, he's a manager who doesn't want to have to be exposed like that, and he'll get that right very, very quickly. So there's definitely different things. I think, as you said, if it's not going to be Kane, Ndombele for me has to play in this area, in this area of the pitch, if we're going to have a little bit more goal going forward, but also just to have an extra body in there.
Can I just
anybody else?
Can I just say, it just went just on that point that you make. The Leeds game for me, the Everton game, I think will be a tough game. I think Everton are a very decent. Well, I think they're a decent team under Benitez. I think they started well, aren't doing very well now. But that Leeds game, I know exactly what to expect from that Leeds team. And I think they're going to be like Vitesse and press us high. I think Conte, and especially Ndombele, if he finds space in that middle when they try to press him, if we can break that press, Ndombele will find passes to Son 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and he'll find so much space and so much time to find a pass. He will look like he's a world beater. So I think that Conte is intelligent. He's an intelligent manager, and I think he will always start with a 3-5-2 if he's got the personnel to do it. But what you will see is if we are getting beat in the game, or if players or managers have changed their formation to sort of match us, he will make changes partway through the game in terms of the formation. Maybe not even subs, but he will change the formation, because I think we have the personnel to do that, to go from a 3-4-1-2 to a 3-4-3. So you'll probably see a lot more in-game management, which I know, Sam, is what you were screaming for with Nuno. I think the 3 subs was telling, and I saw Winks warming up, but then Winks didn't come on obviously until later on. He brought him on later on, but he
made all 5 subs, didn't he? I'm sure he made.
I think
5,
he did. You know what? I think he did
in
basically the space of 2 minutes, but. You know what? He made the right subs, and it was game management. And as soon as those play, and if you notice, as soon as we went back to equal 10 men, we did sort of pick up the attacking impetus again. And when we went to 9 again, we were on top of them. So I think personally, we will always see 3-5-2 with the team that we've got. It's just about improving sort of individuals in that 11 now. And once you do have, if like you said, if this Frank Kessie rumor, which is very, very hot at the moment, if it is true, you've also forget that Pape Sarr comes in as well next season. That's 2 centre mids that are automatically better than our midfielders already here. So you get rid of a couple of players, you bring in, like you said, maybe 1 or 2 centre backs, another striker to help Kane and Son out. I'm telling you now, Conte will instill a mentality into this team that you will not see us sort of conceding these goals again. And I think that he's got the right team to do it, and I think he's got the fans as well. I think the stadium and the fans and sort of everything about sort of Spurs at the moment is made for Conte to build quite a big fortress in that new stadium. So I'm excited. I am excited, and if I do get carried away, I really couldn't care less, because we've had 2 years of awful football.
We'll get it right.
What do you think about the fact that I was almost going to say Nuno then, Antonio? What do you think of the fact that he's brought with him three? I'll say it again. 3 fitness coaches.
No,
does that tell you quite a bit? What a bit of what's
And
gonna be
Ndombele's
happening.
shaking. And Ndombele's shaking in his boots right now. He must be
You
so
know what?
scared.
What do you think is going to happen now in training?
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They're going to get absolutely beasted. But I think they need it. I think Ndombele, you get him, if you've got 3 fitness coaches working on that team, you know what they're in for, and you know what to expect. I mean, that team's they're going to be fit as a fiddle. Give it a couple of months. It'll take a couple of months for them to get to probably the fitness levels that Conte probably requires of the team to sort of be able to fulfill his philosophy, his style of play, the press, etc. You're probably looking at a team to hitting fitness levels as to what they were under Pochettino, if not maybe more. But yeah, those I think it'll do the world of good for some of them. Like Ndombele, if you get him fit and you get a tune out of him, we have got a hell of a player on our hands. So I think it's everything that he's doing. I just see positives. And I know we're conceding goals, we're conceding silly goals, but that's not the team getting sort of opened up with ease. That's us just making silly mistakes. He'll cut, like as I say, I mentioned earlier, the second goal. We've overplayed it at the back too much, trying to play our way out of trouble. Just clear it and start again. But I think he'll get rid of that out of the team. Those silly mistakes, they'll be gone. We'll be much. At set pieces, you'll find us far better defending set pieces than we are now. So he just needs time. Just give him a few months, and I think we'll start noticing a real difference in the side.
Before I come to you, so just a quick thing. Yeah, we've got a few spammers going off in the chats though.
Yeah.
If you can't be respectful, just don't make any comments at all. But thanks to those who are putting their blockers on there. Thank you very much. We've got over 200 people in the live watching. If you're watching now, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It's really good to see so many people in the house watching us after the first game from Antonio Conte. Sid, I'll come to you. As opposed to who do we think might have an opportunity to actually be playing more games, who do you think we might not see much of going forward in terms of a team personnel?
Right. I personally think I don't want to see more of him, GLC, because I think people are getting... No, honestly, from what he's been performing last couple of games, there's no encouragement. There's nothing to say that this guy's going to push on or do well. I don't know if I'm going to be proved wrong or not, but from what even Darius is now sort of coming to listening to me now and agreeing that this guy's pants. But I think Winks and Davies have been given lifelines, haven't they? And
no, mate, Davies ain't given a lifeline.
No, what I'm saying is today, by the looks of it,
he is shockingly bad.
Yeah, I know, but I think for Conte, he's coming to this club and he needs to assess every single individual on their own merit. And he's going to look at them and he's going to decide whether they're good enough for his squad. So maybe him playing them today, giving them a run around, actually to see, are these guys as bad as what people are making them out to be? Are they?
If he goes by today's performance, and I'm not being funny, but Ben Davies wasn't actually too bad. He wasn't
too
bad.
But he also wasn't good though. He also wasn't
no, that's what I'm going to say. He wasn't too good.
But
he wasn't too bad.
But we know Davies can't play as a left back, 100%. As a centre back in the 3, you might be able to get away with him in the conference, in the conference.
We were lucky to not to give away a penalty even the first 2 minutes.
Oh, God,
that was a penalty.
Out, didn't he?
I'm shocked we didn't give that.
Yeah, but so that's him. Winks, I think Winks is playing for time. I think Dele's playing for time. I would like to see more of Roden, personally. I think
he's got to get a chance, hasn't he? At least if he's giving people chances, he's got to give him a chance.
Yeah.
He's got to give him a chance.
And I think Dyer as well. I think Conte is going to look at Dyer as well. So there's
how many
a couple
chances
there.
do we give these players though?
Well, you've got till January, haven't you? Because there's nothing
that's
Conte
the
can
point.
do till January.
That's a very good point. He's
like
got till January.
Yeah, he sat them down and he said to them, guys, listen, here's your 2 Weetabix. Have them every single day. I told you yesterday, 72 days. Eat your Weetabix if you're having them 1 a day, or 36 if you're having 2 a day. right? Dyer's not going to have 3 a day, so that's 12, right? If you don't perform by January, he's already got a list of players that he wants, and he's going to be brutal because Conte is not going to mess around. He's going to bring in the Italian mafia, and these guys are gone. Whether they're gone for good, disappeared, you won't even see or hear of them.
What do you give the manager tonight? What do you give? I keep wanting to say Nuno. I'm going to stop. It will happen a few times. But what do you give Antonio Conte tonight, Mike, out of 10 for his first performance?
I would probably give him a solid. It's difficult, isn't it? I'll give him a solid difficult. 7. I'll give him a solid 7, 7.5. I think I'll give him a 7.5. I think it's hard to judge him on obviously a one game, but I was impressed that he wasn't scared in making changes. I know you could argue they were probably forced because of the setting off, but even when we were down to 10 men, he still made further changes. I know they went down to 9 men, etc. But and touching on just GLC quickly, I think if he gets him fit, I think what GLC's problem is at the moment is he's not got any confidence. He just looks short of confidence. If Conte can get him his confidence back and get him fit, i.e. the way he plays for Argentina to how he plays at Spurs, you might find that we've got a decent player on our hands, better than what we've seen so far. Anyway,
he is decent, Mike. He is decent. For Argentina, he plays well, but
very well.
He's just how can you hit the keeper's face? How can you hit his face? That's not even a save.
This is what I say.
Oh, man.
You take some skill to hit the keeper's head.
Takes a lot.
I've tried that a lot of times, and you can't do it very often.
Because the keeper will try to dodge it as well.
And exactly.
Smacked him on the head. Crazy.
Mike, GLC is more like TLCs because ain't no catching waterfalls, mate, because he ain't catching nothing.
I think you'll be surprised. I honestly, it might be an unpopular opinion, but I think if you've got 3 fitness coaches working on him, get his confidence back, you might see a different GLC.
You know what? I'm just on the manager's numbers. I'm going to give him a 7, and I'll give him a 7 because he wasn't overly animated today. I think he was doing a lot of studying to see what was going on. But what I did like about him, as I said earlier, is the fact that he saw some changes to make, and I didn't see that 3-5-1 when we went down to 10. I didn't see that. I thought it was going to be a 4-4-1 because that's what it was initially.
I thought he was going to go 4-4-1.
And then Kane was up front, and it was 4-4-1. I saw Ben Davies in the centre back. I said, no, we can't have that. We can't have Dyer and Ben Davies as 2 centre backs. We are in trouble here. And then he made the switch, went to the free, and I thought he's bringing on these midfielders. What's going on? He's going to put him on the left and right. And then I saw 5-3-1 made perfect sense. Force them wide because if they're forced wide, they have to make crosses, and you've still got your 3 defenders in the middle. That's what I call tactical now. That's the sort of shit that I would expect a top-level manager to do.
Because you've got one now. Nuno is not a top-level manager. Nuno is not a top-level manager. You've got one now, and you see it in the first game.
This ain't what he's doing isn't rocket science.
Exactly.
It's really not. I know he's a top-class, world-class coach, but what he was doing wasn't rocket science. Like Nuno would never have done that, though. It was common sense. It was.
You also noticed as well, when they panned to Conte every now and then, he was actually shouting instructions to players. Yeah. At one point, I heard him saying something to Kane like, Kane, what are you doing? There, I want you there. I want you there. He was shouting instructions.
These boys ain't got nowhere to hide, mate. Like,
no.
They've got
time. They're on a watch. They're on the time.
They are, mate.
They are. I'm going to come round to all of you. And I'll start with you, Mike, just to get your final thoughts. Obviously, we've got the game at the weekend. Give your final thoughts on today as an assessment, I guess. I think the players have seen that they've got, they obviously know they've got a top-level manager. So there's no hiding place. We've said nobody can not say that, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, because he knows what he's doing. I think even tonight's tactical awareness has shown these players this guy knows what he's doing here. So what do you want to see going forward from these players, from the team? Do you think that it's going to be, as I said, I think we've looked at this 3 at the back is probably going to be the way forward. But what you expecting from the weekend's game then?
I think he's played the strongest, or a relatively strong side, all but maybe 1 or 2 positions. But I think he's played the strong side to see what they're about, and I think he's done it to try and sort of get his ideas across quicker rather than sort of like giving them a pass till the Everton game. I think he's just thought, no, let's just get it done and dusted now. Let's start the ball rolling now and get the team used to the style, the philosophy, etc. that I want to play. I think we'll see that team. I'm hoping Bar Davis at the weekend, because the only reason and I'm adamant this is the reason, he's only played Davis just to give a bit of balance, so there's a left side
solidarity.
It has to be. Although I don't want to see that at Everton, because they'll just.
What if you do? Then either Ben Davis and Dyer have got pictures of every single manager on planet Earth. That's the only thing I can think. That's the only reason why them two can play. If they,
I don't feel.
We knew Dyer was going to play. We did know. We knew Dyer was going to play. Davis, I was surprised at. Davis, I was surprised at. I'm not going to lie to you. Davis, that shocked me.
I just want them to, I think, cut out the silly mistakes. I'm sure Conte is thinking, right, we've got to cut out these silly mistakes. I'm sure he knows this already. But, like, we overplay it at the back a little bit too much sometimes, when really and truly just put your foot through the ball, get rid of it, and then
maybe that's what he wants. So maybe he wants that sort of football being played.
There's a time and place. Why are we trying to nutmeg a striker to get it back to was it? I think it was to Romero. I think it was Moore or Emerson tried to nutmeg on someone. Didn't quite get pulled off, and that's where the mistake. Don't try nutmegging someone when you've got when you're facing your own goal. Just get rid of it. Just do it.
Old school.
Don't overplay it.
Old school.
Sometimes that's what's required. That would have prevented a goal, though. Let's be honest. That would have prevented that goal if he just put his laces through the ball, just got rid of it in that position. But yeah, no. I want to see much more of the same that we saw like the first 25 minutes. Like you said, put Romero in the middle. Probably bring on Sanchez. I want to see. To be fair, I probably want to see Rodon play instead of Davis. That back three, the midfield, the forward three. I think that's probably what we're gonna. I reckon that'll probably be a very, very close team. You might see Dembele in there, but yeah, much more the same. Like as I say, the transition from defence with the ball to midfield, to strikers, etc. And we created, God knows how many chances in that first 30 minutes that we've probably created more than in the last 5 games. As such, so I just want to see more of that. I want to see what Conte. I'm excited for the next game, and that's
that's the thing. I think we're all excited to see what he does the next game, because we know if it was Nuno, we know what he was going to do the next game, and that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, is he going to change it? Yeah, because he might have to change it tactically, being away from home. You may have to have a bit more solidity in that midfield, because
Calvert-Lewin's still out though. Calvert-Lewin's still injured, isn't he?
He's doing adverts now. Yeah,
I saw he was on Monday Night Football, wasn't he?
Sid, what do you want to see come the weekend?
So let me just say this. There was an old TV show back in the days, and the saying was, contenders ready, players ready, fans ready. Here's Conte.
Gladiators.
That's the one. You know, I think I agree with Mike was saying. I think just a tweak at the back on Sunday, get that midfield battling and get it ready against Everton, because Everton ain't going to be an easy game. They're going to be up for it because they've not been playing too well recently, and they'll need. Because I personally think Rafa's the next one whose job is on the line, because Everton fans, Everton fans didn't want him in the first place, and what they're seeing, because they got battered the other day as well, and
very true.
They're not happy. So Goodison Park is going to be a massive game, and Conte's just got to get them in tonight, bollock them, tell them, right, I'll cut this out, cut that out, get it ready. Like Mike said, replace Davis if he has to, put Sanchez in, bring in Rodon, tighten that midfield, and I think let's get ready for the ride.
Probably, you might even find he might stick an extra body in that midfield for Everton.
I think 100%.
To be fair,
Everton have
Kane and Son up top.
Dangerous.
I think it's a great partnership.
Ready-made partnership. We don't even have to coach them.
Sat in behind.
A really good partnership. They proved that they can play well together. Obviously, last season stats prove that. I'm just going back to Everton though. They've lost the last 3. I think they drew the one before. So in the last 4 games, they haven't had a victory and lost the last 3.
And they've been poor.
Normally, we would say, okay, Dr. Tottenham will see you now. I don't have that feeling. I have a feeling that we'll take them to the sword because I think he'll get that right.
The way is it away,
right.
Sam?
I think the thing with Conte, it's away. So Everton, yeah. The thing with Conte is he will assess what needs to be done for that game. He'll take each game on its merit and he'll play the players based on that. Once you get into a fluidity of if players are playing really well, then they'll keep their place, old school manager type, but he will still make changes tactically. So I think he might go to a more of a traditional 3-5-2. So we'll come to the 3-5-2, man, for the last thoughts. What are you looking forward to, Darius, from the game at the weekend?
I don't know, to be fair, just being excited, like Mike said, that's enough for me. I actually want to watch my team play again, and I can't remember the last time I said that. It's been pain since Jose did Jose lose again today to that team that's got two names or whatever it is. Really? I think he did. I think he lost again to that team who's got two names. I don't even know who they are. So, yeah. So I mean that proved my point. We finally got a good manager in. If I was to rate him today on his performances, then I'd have to give him 4 for getting 4 shots on target. I'd probably have to give him an extra 3 for scoring 3 goals in a game. Give him 1 for Ben Davies somehow getting an assist, and then give him 1 for being Antonio Conte. So I'll probably give him a 9 out of 10, to be honest with you. I thought he was great. But no, being serious. Oh no, I didn't even realize they drew. Oh, okay. But yeah, no. To be fair, I'm excited, and that's all I can be is excited, and that's all I really want from Tottenham. I think he will change it, like you said. I think he probably will play a little bit deeper. I know that Calvert-Lewin isn't starting, but Solomon Rondon does play a similar way. So if you notice how Everton play, they like to put balls in the box, and basically their tall striker wins as many headers as they possibly can. So it'll be, I want to see Rodon, I want to see Romero, and it will probably be Dyer. But I mean, against a team that wants to cross, that's going to be a nightmare. So hopefully we can see a tactical change. And you know what? Going forward, I think we are in for a big treat. So I'm not going to get carried away, but I think I already am. So let's just finish it there, to be honest.
Just for people in the chat, there's some real trolls in the chat. I've had to block a few people here. We are respectful on this channel. So if you are going to make comments, please make them respectfully. There is no need to call anybody names. We don't do that on this channel here. But as I said, if you are new to the channel and you are liking this content, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button as well. We can't do this show without you, but we would like to have respectful views where possible, please. So, Mike, Darius, and Sid, thank you very much. It has been a pleasure, and I think we can almost say, we got our Tottenham back? Would you say that? Or was that too early?
Too early.
Wait till Dyer, Winks, and Ali go, and then we'll say it.
Wait till we don't see Davis playing.
Okay, it is a bit too soon, but I'm liking the fact that we've got a manager now. We all know what he's about, which is only going to be positive from here. And these 3 fitness coaches, they've got some work to do, but I hope they get to work from tomorrow and start getting this team as fit as possible, and we can march on. So thank you very much. Viewers in the house, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you. Oh, no, sorry. Let me just come to Sid first. Sid, give the plug.
Yeah, so I was going to say, that question that you just asked, have we got a Tottenham back? Well, maybe people should ask Sid tomorrow evening at 7:30. Yeah, and then we can discuss how we got a Tottenham back. But no, on a serious note, let's talk Conte tomorrow on Sid Spurs. Ask Sid at 7:30. So come and join us. Put your questions in, and we'll try and get you as many answers as possible. Let's get talking. Let's get talking about Conte.
Fantastic. And we've still got over 150 viewers on the stream now. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you very much for supporting us. We had over 230 at one point. Brilliant numbers. I guess it's for the first game for Antonio Conte. So long may it continue, as they say. Guys, that is it. We'll take time out now to reflect and then come back at the weekend to do more of the same. All right, guys, take care. See you later and bye.